Next topic is format statements in Fortran. These format statements are used to control data input and output precisely. So you can exactly control either numerical data or text, whatever you are trying to read from keyboard and trying to print onto the screen or to any file. Okay, you can specify each and every location including spaces and everything. Okay, so here the various options available. You can get this information from Stanford Fortran 77 page. So here I is used for integers. Let's say I3 stands for 3-digit integer, and let's say F5.2 floating number, real number, with 5 digits including decimal. And 2 digits after decimal. Let's say if you mention the format as F5.2, it indicates a real number with 5 digits including decimal. And the 2 stands for 2 digits after decimal. So it allocates 5 spaces. In total 5 spaces will be allocated, and after decimal 2 digits. So before decimal it considers only 2 digits. If there are more number of digits, it won't print. It simply prints a star. So if the given number has more digits after, after decimal, let's say if there are 3-4 digits, they will be truncated or rounded up. We'll see that whether it is rounding off or truncating. But before decimal, if there are more number of digits than specified, it won't print. Okay, and for characters, for text data, let's say 3-letter word, it takes only 3 letters. One X stands for 1 space, 2x, 3x, whatever, and slash stands for new line. Let's say you read some data from keyboard and write it as a matrix. Let's say 9 digits or 9 numbers, and you like to write it as a 3x3 matrix. Okay, so then what shall I do? Let's say I'm assuming only integer data. Otherwise, go for real number. 9 numbers each in 2 rows. So one set stores in a 3 by 3 matrix, another set stores in a 1 by 9 matrix. Now I try to write it back. So here the first star represents the location, second star gives you the format. Okay. So what shall I do? First star, quotes and a bracket. So let's say F 5.2 and then 2x space So entire format statement should be kept in a single quotes and in a bracket. So I try to print a real number with 5 digits in total and 2 numbers after decimal. Like that, and followed by 2 spaces, and then again a real number, 2 spaces, a real number, followed by new line. So like that, entire this data should be printed. Right, you can cut short these repeating statements like this f5.2, 2x, these things are repeating, right? So that can be reduced. Try this. Three times f 5.2 comma 2x comma slash. So you can write this entire thing, I mean if length of the line does not support, then you can write the entire thing in a separate line. So this index will come in the first 1 to 5 lines, 1 to 5 columns. So whatever you keep in quotes will come here. So at most 5 digits are allowed. You can give an index. So when you want to use the same format repeatedly, it is convenient to define it in a new line with a label. Okay, let's say you want to read another matrix in the same format. You can use it in read statement also. So when you are using a format statement and read statement, you must be precisely very careful while entering the data. I mean, you have to maintain the format. Like whatever number you are giving in, should have this. I mean, 5.2, a real number with 2 numbers before the decimal, and after the decimal is not a matter. If that doesn't have any numbers, it is okay. And then 2 spaces followed by second number, and then 2 spaces followed by third number. Then you have to go to, I mean, after the third number again 2 spaces and then a new line. So try it out, how better you are able to enter the data. To confirm the input you are giving in, print it also. So what was your input for this? 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all single spaces. Next one, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all right. Now what is the output? It is 1.23, 0.56, 0.89, 2.34, 0.00, 1.23. Okay, so this is the input supplied and this is how it read the data. So what is happening? You are supposed to read a real number with 5 digits, which includes a decimal point and after decimal 2 numbers. So first of all, it reads whatever 5 number block as the first data element. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 is your first data block. So that is your first input, and after decimal there are 2 numbers. Before decimal, whatever it is, whatever remaining numbers will be before the decimal. So this 1.23 has become your first input, and then it waits for 2 spaces, blank spaces, and one of the blank spaces is occupied by 4, so it is not able to read that. So what is that? F5.2, after that 2 blank spaces, then your second block starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to this space. A blank space, 5, blank space, 6, blank space, 5 elements. So entire thing is read as a real number, and after decimal there should be 2 numbers. and whatever remaining will be kept before the decimal. So it became 0.56. Then 2 spaces. 7 is skipped, next blank space is skipped. Then 5.2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 blank spaces. So it is read as 0.89. Okay. So that is about line 1. So this entire process should be repeated 3 times. Okay. So when you go to next line, no, entire you gave an enter here. So here 1, 2, 3, 4 is new line. So somehow this is completely skipped. So this is skipped under a new line probably. And then it read 2.34. This data block is read. And after that there are no numbers. So it is supposed to read 3 real numbers in this line itself, but there is no data. So it is skipped. And then this is skipped, this is being read, and after that nothing. So that is how it brute forcefully reads or writes the data whatever you give according to the definition. So you must be very precisely and highly careful while using this format statement. It counts the blank spaces and it counts everything. Give one more input like 1, 2, 3 and see what it takes. So, comma is the element separator. So whether it reads that or considers it as a breakpoint. One, two, three, four, 5. So here comma is also considered as a number which is unknown to it, so it gives an error. So now give the exact input whatever expected. Like if you want to give just 1, what should we do? Zero, 1. So yeah, give this 0, 1 followed by 3 spaces and 2 spaces for this, another 2 spaces for next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to this, the real number block, then 2 spaces, then 0.234. Like that, just count the spaces and give. So these are the spaces 0, 1, and next 3 also are reserved for that real number block, and then 2 blank spaces. So 0, 1, 3 blank spaces, a total 5 blank spaces, 3 plus 2 blank spaces, then 0.234. Already 1 blank space is used by 4. Give 1 more space, then 3.25. So up to that line 1. For line 2, 04.00, then 2 blank spaces, 05.25, 2 blank spaces, 06.32. Again new line, 07.12, 2 blank spaces, 08.12, 2 blank spaces, 09.23. Just for the first line, give that input. What is it exactly? 01, then 3 blank spaces, then 2 blank spaces, 02.12, 02.34, 2 blank spaces, 03.45. So that is the so here probably your second line is skipped because you did not give the 2 blank spaces at the end of first line. So the 2 blank spaces will be searched in the second line. So that 04 will be skipped, and after that the control goes to new line. So your entire second line will be skipped just because you did not, we did not mention the 2 blank spaces at the end of first line. So give that also. Here 01 is read as 0.01. That is also one observation. So you have to be more precise. You have to mention the 2 blank spaces at the end of first line also. Then see your second line will be read. Check that also, then you will understand. Okay. So precisely, even in your output, there is a blank space after every line. You also should give a blank space after every line. Otherwise, whatever data you enter will be skipped. Okay, so that is how very precisely it controls the data flow, and also very blindfoldly. It won't even consider what data you are giving in. If it doesn't fit into the format, it simply skips or gives an error. So using a format statement is highly risky, I should say, but highly accurate. If you know what you are doing, it perfectly controls the data flow. And if you miss any single point, it creates disasters. Okay, so done with that.